Hey, good morning, Ted again. A few days ago I downloaded a video on using my Shopsmith and my sled on how to keep it from tilting. And I made this. I designed it, made it, and it works great. And I posted it on YouTube. Here's the thing about YouTube that I really like. Typically, you get into a community for people that really, like in this case, own Shopsmiths, and then these two words come out. They send you a message. They appreciate what you did, but they use these two words. These two words have probably inspired more innovation, well, and maybe even bad stuff like, what if I invade the Ukraine? There ain't nobody gonna mess with me. How are you? Anyway, that's what he thinks. So, but in this case, what if you didn't use the sled, but what if you had a track that fit in to the slots on the Shopsmith table? Now the table here is different than the table on a typical table saw. It's not just a 3/4 inch slot, 3/8 of an inch deep. It actually is different, and I'm going to get a close-up and I'm going to show you the difference here. And then we'll discuss what this guy suggested that got me thinking, what if, and I'll show you. Okay, so I've got a close-up. This is the difference. This slot is a T-slot. And the reason for that on the Shopsmith is this table, well actually the Shopsmith is a lathe, primarily, and a great lathe. A very deep lathe, very powerful. But it can also be used as a table saw, drill press, horizontal boring machine, and to do that, this table has to have miter slots in it that can lock. And so Shopsmith has these things that you can use that fit in this, and if it's upright, you can use it for hold downs or whatever in other operations. It's, you know, like horizontal boring, for example, or the drill press. You can put it on the fence and have hold downs on it as well. So what if, and this is the front end, what if I cut out a small section just the same size as this block and fit it in there and either countersink this on this side or come through the other side, and there's threads here, here, and here, two different size screws, fasteners, and put it on the back end. So when I am using this, instead of having to have a table, this would literally stay in the track and keep the sled from tipping up. So yeah, I think it's worth an effort. I think it's worth trying to see how it works. Now one of the problems that I might run into is this slot is fairly tight. It doesn't give you a lot of forgiveness, so it'll take a shim between this and the bottom of the sled to make sure that it's not so tight lifting up that you can't move the sled. And that may take a little finessing, but I do think it's possible. So I'm going to set up, and I'm going to put in additional fasteners on the other end to hold down the miter, track, slot, whatever you want to call it, the track, and make a cut and try and install these and see if that's going to work. If it doesn't, I still have my sled. Okay, so I didn't glue these down, so I installed a screw here to hold this one. This one's in place. And then I made the cut out using my back saw, and these fit in just like so. It's a little bit proud relative to the wood, but now all I got to do is drill a hole here and here and then go all the way through, and I can make that hole a little bit larger to allow a little bit of play. And then when I get this in the slot, down here, wherever my finger went to, then I can tighten it and that'll take out any intolerance that I might have with it. So let's try that. Okay, here's the situation. I've got the cutouts made. I have the screws that'll fit in this. I've oversized the holes deliberately to allow this to have a little bit of slop when it goes in, because I'm just killing myself trying to get it so precise. But once I get it done, if I can't hold it right to the edge like so, I may just go ahead and go to some epoxy to help hold it over. What I've learned is these screws are too short to go through, but they go through this 3/4 and into these perfectly. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm going to take off the inserts, even though I've drilled through them, and countersink those just a little bit until they're flush, barely flush. I'm not concerned about it. If I have to, I can go ahead and clear out the bottom of the inserts to make sure the screws are okay, and then see if I can get them to go in. So we'll get back to that. Okay, so remove the insert, countersunk the holes using that guy right there, put them in. They're not tight. I didn't want to make them tight because I want to be able to move the sled. Now you can hear it click because it's not perfect, and that's okay. And it's a little bit tight. So what I'll probably do is file off the side, this binding a little bit, because I didn't get it perfect. But I think you can see it in there, maybe. Let's pull it out a little bit further without it falling off on me. Where are you? There you are. And it goes in. Click. And do I need two? No, I don't. So I got a couple ugly holes over there, and I'll just go ahead and dowel those up and make them look pretty again. Do the same thing with those two ugly holes. And I think I have a fix. So what if this guy hadn't launched my YouTube channel and said, hey, what if? And I want to thank you, because that was a good what if. I still like my sled, but I like this even better. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. Subscribe to my channel if you care to, and have a good day. So, as it turns out, these ugly holes on this side proved to be quite beneficial. Because what I discovered was, using my Shopsmith tool, this 5/32, I was able to loosen them to the point that they touched the bottom of the insert. And that released them just enough that they slide easily, and it's still just as secure as possible. I hope I was watching that, because I keep leaning forward. So anyway, I am pleased. What if I had thought of this before? I wouldn't look so foolish spending the whole day making a sled. But hey, I had a good time doing that, and I have a good time sharing it. So I like sharing with you. I want to thank my guy, my friend, and again, thanks a lot.